City will convene for a regular meeting at the Elmendorf City Hall at 7 p.m. July 18, 2019. Call to order. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we can remain standing for invocation.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity that you give us again to meet here in this building. We ask for your guidance. We ask for wisdom, that we may do the right decisions for this community. For I ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Sir. Roll call.
Dario Guerra here.
Pablo Maldonado here.
Manuel DeSena here.
Linda Peña Ortiz, present.
Mayor Mike Gonzalez present. Councilman seat 1, Tracy is absent. Citizen participation, there was none. Mayor and City Council comments. Mr. Dario, any comments?
No, none at this time.
Polo?
Well, the only thing that I want to say is that I had a good experience together with Councilman Guerra and Stephen, Cody, took us for a ride. I mean, for a tour with on a place where we're digging for that water. It was quite an experience. It feels good to see the progress that's going on. Thank you.
Manuel?
I'm good to go, sir. I thank you for asking.
Ms. Linda?
Well, since he mentioned that, I went on the right as well and made progress. It's all going to be different, but
That's a good thing.
it's a good thing.
Mayor has no comment. Moving on to general business, consent agenda items 1 and 2, we can make a motion to pass at the same time. Number 1, adoption and approval of city council minutes from June 20th, 2019. Approval of the previous month's bills paid and financial reports. Is there a motion for 1 and 2?
I make the motion to approve items 1 and 2 on consent agenda.
I second it.
Manuel seconds, all in favor?
I abstain
Okay.
from number 2.
From number 2.
Yes.
All right, we have 3, 4, and 1 abstain.
Who seconded?
I did.
Manuel. General business, individual consideration. Item number 3, discussing possible action regarding the acceptance or rejection of a bid to pave West First Street.
So, council, as you know, part of the budget this year was to pave a portion of West First Street between Old Corpus Christi and 4th Avenue. We've been working throughout the year on the plans and bidding the project out. We had the bid opening, but we only had one bidder, and the bid that was presented to us was over what we had anticipated. We had originally budgeted $100,000 for the whole project. That includes engineering fees. We were hoping that the construction would be somewhere in the $80,000 to $85,000 range. The bid came back at $105,379. So you've got two choices. You can accept the bid and amend the budget to increase that, or you can reject the bid and we can rebid the project, hoping that we would get more bidders. If there's more competition, perhaps the price would be better.
Question. As far as goes to, when you say you reopen bid, does that go to the open public, or who does that go out to? And say we turn around and say, hey, put it out for bid again.
So it was advertised for one day on 2 consecutive weeks in the Wilson County News, and there was 2 plan rooms that had it. The one bidder that we had saw it in the newspaper and requested the bid documents. I'm not sure why no one else did. it's a fairly small project, so that
Right.
sometimes you get a lot of bidders, sometimes you don't get
Right.
one. The only thing I know to do if you want to rebid it is maybe we run it again in the Wilson County News and send it out to as many plan rooms as we can get on their list and see if we can get some more interest and send it out to contractors that we know.
Right.
I sent it to 3 or 4 different contractors and nobody requested the documents. So we just try to contact as many people as we can, try to generate some more interest in
And the reason I say that is, it's not in a bad way, it's more in the sense of, I definitely don't want to go the cheapest guy, because I mean, you know, cheap a lot of times, and unfortunately in this industry, that's what you're gonna get, you know. You pay nothing, you get poor
And
quality.
I would assume that he probably knew that he was the only bidder, because we had a pre-bid meeting here at the office, and he was the only one in the room. So I'm sure he said, well, I'm the only game, so
It is
maybe
what
I
it
get
is.
slated. So,
Right.
yeah, we really need to generate some interest, and hopefully we can, if you elect to rebid. It just, you never know.
Yes, sir.
It's going to get.
Myself, I'll make the motion to reject the bid and, bid the project again.
I would kind of agree to that. And, have we used this company before, does that, for anything?
This particular,
Contract.
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't heard of it.
I have experience with them. We've done a lot of work with them, but none here in the city with other cities we have.
Mayor, we have a motion,
Okay.
so you need to ask for a second, and then you can do discussion.
I'll second.
Linda seconds.
And now we're gonna discuss.
Okay.
I have an observation. One time, at one point, it was Mr. Cody and I and Stephen, you mentioned, Stephen, something that maybe you were discussing or thinking that there's a type of equipment that we can buy and would do some good on some of these streets.
Yeah, it would, but we're talking about there's some drainage issues also that need to be addressed. One is, what road is that? It's Third? Fourth
Avenue.
Has some drainage where it comes back across First. And so, what I was talking about was more just for chip sealing, kind of like what we had done.
Repairs.
Yeah, well, like we had done on, Kilowatt.
And take
Cassiano, like we had done there, that, it was that type of equipment. It wouldn't be, something to do a complete laydown.
overlay.
And that's actually, that equipment is something that we're working on to bring to y'all for next year's budget.
Okay.
But yeah, that particular road there, at First and Old Corpus Christi, it's got a lot of drainage issues, and there is some, there are times, there has been a few times where water has crested and come over the road there. And so part of the design that Gary did was to have a valley gutter that cuts across the road and down into the drainage ditch there at the park to avoid that house or business getting flooded in the future.
Yeah.
One other consideration is during the month this was out for bid, there was no contractors working in the city as far as street contractors. Now you have one working in Homewood. Hopefully before too long, you'll have one working over at Hickory Ridge. So the more people you have down here, that may be able to just fill this project in and get a decent price, they don't immobilize. I don't know if that helps, but it's potentially could.
Yes, sir.
Another thing that, we've been putting some money aside. How much do we have on that? I think we've been putting for about a year and a half, 12,000 a month. 12, 15, I don't remember very well. And it was strictly for street roads and
Yeah.
street.
Yeah, right now in that separate account, that separate infrastructure account that we set up for, at this last budget, I've got just in it alone, $109,034. So, I mean, you could increase the budget on this if you wanted. Like I say, we have the money we have the money there, but at the same time, I'm not sure we've got the best bid, you know, because
Yeah.
Do you remember what the ads were? It's probably $500 to run it 2 more times, something like that.
no, it wasn't even that much through Wilson County News.
To rebid, you're probably looking at
We're not,
$300 or
it's,
$400.
if we had to do Express News, it would be over $1,000, but Wilson County News is like $75.
Oh, okay, so
It's negative.
so, you know, maybe if you have to run it two consecutive weeks, and you're probably delaying about 30 days, you know, it would come back, it could potentially come back once you're, we try to leave it out 30 days, that way they have time to not rush.
Yes, sir.
Do we know the actual length of what that road?
I think bring the plans with me. It's not very long.
Yeah, it's not very long. What, 120 yards maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe even less than that.
I was actually hoping the bid would come in so good that we could come back to y'all to ask for an increase to do
The rest of it.
the rest of that road back to the cemetery.
Right.
But with a price like this, we didn't do it.
Yeah, because that's such a small section and the price he's putting on it is.
Exactly.
And we don't contract so that's what I'm saying.
All right, I guess, we have
Motion.
a motion, so we have the second. All in favor? All four. Item number 4, discuss possible action regarding ordinance 07-18-2019-1, amending the code of ordinances by amending chapter 38 zoning division 2, signs, setting conditions to allow political and bandit signs in city right-of-way, providing a severability clause, providing for the repeal of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
This ordinance basically just mirrors what we had talked about at the last meeting. It includes all the bullet points that y'all had voted to approve. We recommend passage of this.
I would say yes. Is there a motion for 4?
Motion.
Second?
I second.
Dalio, second. All in favor? All 4. Item number 5, discuss some possible action regarding the acceptance of an agreement from Stephen Burring. Did I pronounce that correct? Close enough? Okay. Commercial roofing for the repair of the roof at City Hall.
We have a roof leak here. It's fairly significant. It's in multiple spots. I've got a good leak in my office. There's a leak here in the men's room, and there's a leak over on the PD side. I'm sorry?
One in the bullpen, too.
And one in the bullpen. We've got a roofer out here. They took a look. They found 18 areas where the roofing has been compromised. They also found that some of these leaks are coming in from around the scuppers that pull water off the roof, not being sealed completely. We've got 2 options from the roofer, one for just a strict, straight up repair of the damaged areas, which is a fairly cheap option of $28.50. But it has no warranty, there's no guarantees on it. You know, it may or may not hold all the way. There may be other areas that he didn't find where the roofing is compromised. So there's a second option of doing a silicone seal coat of the entire roof. That does come with a 15-year labor and material warranty. The cost to do that is $13,045. That would be a little higher than what we've got in the budget, but we do have a budget amendment on the agenda. The mayor had expressed interest in going for the one with the warranty.
Right.
And I've included that number in the budget amendment, as when we get there, if that's what y'all choose to do.
First question I would ask, is this a standing seam roof?
No,
It is not.
Road. Hot tar roof.
it's not on the main pitched roof, this hip that
It's
we've got here.
it's the flat surfaces on each
It's the
side?
flat surfaces on either side of it.
What year was this building built?
2013, and it only had a 2-year warranty. So it is out of warranty as it is. Not to mention the contractor went out of business.
They went to warranty.
Right at the end of building this.
From an engineer standpoint, how do you feel about putting the coat on there that Cody's talking about for 13?
I don't know exactly the material that he wants to use, but I would think an overall coating is better than spot repairs.
Of course.
Plus the warranty it has value.
What's the size on each section? Would it work if we would, put a declining type over what's there?
I think you're fixing.
Yeah, ACs are up there, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to picture it.
You couldn't do it.
No?
Yeah, there's 3 on one side and 2 on the other.
Yep.
That's not very good,
I guess the point that I'm trying to get to, whatever is let's get it fixed, something that's gonna last. We gotta take care of this building, and it needs to last us the longest it can. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We gotta do what's in the best interest of what the community paid. And that's why I'm saying,
Protect what we have.
yeah, exactly, no matter what, no matter how we look at it.
Yeah, we invested a small portion in this building, so what we're gonna put into it is nothing to what the cost was for this building.
Yeah. So if I had a say or a choice, it would be to put the entire seal coat over the top, both sides. Anybody else have any questions?
That was the cost, $13.45?
Right. Is there a motion for number 5?
I make a motion to accept an agreement with Stephen Murin Commercial Roofing with a full silicone seal of the entire roof area. For the cost of, should I say the cost? $13,045.94.
Second? Polo seconds, all in favor? All 4. Item number 6, discuss the possible action regarding ordinance 07-18-2019-2, amending the fiscal year 2018-2019 office budget adopted by ordinance 9-20-2019-1, providing a cumulative clause, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
This is our year-end budget cleanup, the last adjustments for the fiscal year. Most of it is based on real-world performance that we've had so far. And it's mainly adjusting some accounts up and others accounts down, depending on how we've done or what we've spent. The offset total is about 82,000. Most of that is on big projects, big things that we've had, additional expenses we've had because of the big projects, things that we didn't foresee coming in. There's been a lot of new growth, a lot of new businesses, a lot of new homes that's going on. So there's been additional work from the city engineer, from the city attorney. I've also included the additional amount of money for the building repairs, but hoping is that. There is, we've had significant increase in police vehicle repair. We've had multiple breakdowns, particularly on Fords, which are 2013 and 2014 models. So we have to cover that. We've had increase in warrant collections, which calls for increased warrant collection expense. And in addition to that, the mayor had expressed interest in hiring a third maintenance person, which is more warranted. We certainly could use the help. So there is a proration of salary for the remainder of the year for that as well.
You're talking about the salary, you're looking at $199,000 that you're increasing?
No, we're only increasing it by $4,000 for the remainder of the year.
Okay.
It's only increasing the total, it's increasing the total admin salaries for everyone by $4,000 up to the total amount of $199. That covers all admin employees.
So you're talking about a pricing, a raise for everyone?
No,
it's not a raise.
no, this is just for the hiring of a third maintenance person, just the prorated amount.
Okay.
The only difference in the salaries is the $4,000, which would cover that prorated amount.
Okay. It wasn't clear enough. Just wanted to make sure I had a clear understanding of it.
No raises. That,
I mean, not that has anything to do with that, just so I can get an understanding of what that amount was for.
no,
So-
any raises will come for next year's budget.
So 4,000, you're adding to what the amount was for this year?
Yeah, the amount for this year was like 195, so we're adding
Okay.
4,000
Yes.
to it to the 199.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
Any other questions?
This decreases and increases, what are they telling me? That we need to consider that for next budget coming in, or?
Yeah, I mean, every budget that we do is heavily based on the prior year performance,
Right.
on the little line items. There's certain things that we know, like property taxes and so forth, that we can get more accurate on. We don't really base it on prior year performance. But a lot of this is based on prior years. So next year's budget, the next budget that we do, we'll be factoring in these additional amounts likely for city engineer, city attorney, because a lot of the things that we're working on right now, we'll still be working on next year. So a lot of this will carry over, yes, sir.
Sorry, this is not in addition to what it's just a full amount from, like, let's say this year it's gonna be, let's check, I see attorney fees, city attorney. So if he was getting 40, it's gonna have to be raised to 43.
Right, it's not an additional 43, but you're welcome to do that if you want to.
And then it'll be 80 something.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's something that we should be thinking of when budget comes
Yeah,
out.
Next year.
And a lot on the city attorney is not just the city attorney, but it's the prosecutor too, because
Yeah,
we've been doing.
and I see a lot of other ones.
shortage trials.
I don't wanna use the word bothers me, but concerns me, that a lot of this, does it reflects over there, ever since I've been here, I wanna see progress in this city. I wanna see roads fixed, streets paved, things like that, and it seems like we think of all of these things, but very little out there.
And it's time that people start seeing that not only the progress is over here with them, but also out there. And I have mentioned this quite a few times. That's all.
Manuel, any questions?
No, I guess just the numbers you're seeing at the end, that's not the actual number, it's just maybe something you added to it?
No, the final budget, the final budget is included in there.
Right.
I've got two exhibits in your packets.
Yes, sir.
One is a profit and loss comparison based on the original budget versus what we've actually spent. And if you'll notice the handwritten numbers out to the side, those are the numbers that I'm recommending increasing or decreasing that budget by. The actual budget included behind that is the full numbers.
Number of it.
That-
And that's what I'm trying to make sure that, everybody has a good understanding of that as well as myself, is that, the number, like, for example, increase in, health insurance, $48,000, it's not 48,000, it's just adding to whatever
Right.
that amount was.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's not increasing it by 48,000.
Right.
It's just increasing it to,
From the-
and I think
right.
it was, the original number was 40 or 44, so.
I think, exactly, it wasn't much of an increase,
Right,
but,
yeah.
right. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Linda,
Ready to make a motion?
I'm ready.
Okay. I make a motion to approve ordinance 07-18-2019-2, amending fiscal year 2018 and 2019 office budget adopted by ordinance 9-20-2019-1, providing a cumulative clause, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Manuel seconds, all in favor?
Now, I want to abstain.
We have 3-4? 3-4, and 1 abstain. Item number 7, discussing possible action regarding an agreement with Bureau Veritas for the provision of fire service plan reviews and inspections.
As most of you all know, we've used Bureau Veritas for our building permits and plan review for, well, longer than I've been here, so it's been more than 13 years. They basically handle everything cradle to grave, with the exception in the past, they have not provided fire service review or fire plan review or fire suppression system inspections. This really kind of comes to pass with any commercial development or industrial development. Now, in years past, we never really had much need for that. But obviously, in the last few years, we've had the industrial growth and so forth that has needed that. At the time, BV, or Bureau Veritas, did not provide service. So we had separately contracted with the county to do that. And while that's not bad, it just creates a logistical issue where there's a gap, when one person doesn't know what the other person is doing. We'd like to be able to, now that Bureau Veritas is offering that service, we'd like to keep it all under one umbrella. That way, the person that's making the application doesn't get any undue delays, or that there's not confusion in the office at the county of what services they actually should be providing, because we've had that issue.
Yes, sir.
So we would, now that they do provide that service, they have provided a contract amendment to be able to include that. We would recommend going along that route. We would still keep the county as a backup, but
if you have
primary
one entity you work with.
Right, that's right.
Is there a motion for 7?
I motion item 7, an agreement with Bureau Veritas for the provisions of fire services plan for reviews and inspections.
Second?
Second.
Polo seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. Item number 8, discussing possible action regarding an agreement with Ross Coleman and Sama with respect to the repair of Homewood Place Unit 1 roads.
We really hoped we'd be able to have this finalized for this meeting. It is not. We're waiting on some final green light from one of the other attorneys, so we don't have a draft to review or vote on at this point. So at this point, we'd recommend tabling this on.
I make the motion to table item 8.
Second.
Polo seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. Item number 9, discuss possible action regarding the possibility of purchasing the land currently used for our city park from the East Central Development School District and the hiring of a third-party appraiser.
What? Those of y'all that are in the know on this know that I've been trying to buy the land for the city park for a long time and have encountered lots of resistance from East Central on it in the past. And wasn't really hopeful that I'd have much luck this time. But recently the EDC met to discuss the idea of the EDC placing the restrooms and constructing the restrooms at the city park with EDC funds. But there was concern amongst the board members that there was no guarantees that since we're leasing the property from East Central, that they wouldn't, take the property back at the end of the lease and make us tear everything down, and that we wasted money. So the EDC asked that I go back to East Central and see if there's anything that we could do to guarantee, whether it be purchasing it or an extended lease. And whenever I talked to East Central about purchasing it, they said, yeah, that they would consider it.
Wow.
So, finally, after all these years, we may actually be able to own the park if y'all want to buy it. Now, the way it would work is that it would have to be, because it's government land and so forth, it has to be done at market value. And basically what would happen is East Central would hire a third-party appraiser on their side. We would hire a third-party appraiser on our side, which they would both go out and do an appraisal on the land to determine how much money that is, and we put both of them together and see if we can negotiate a price. So that's what this item is about. Does council want to go down that path? Would y'all be interested in purchasing the property? Would you want to hire the appraiser and go through it? Or would you rather not and just try to go for an extended lease?
I would say,
Go. I guess my first question would be, if, let's say the city of Elmendorf did, we agreed or whatever to purchase the property. Can we put, I guess this question would probably be for Mike, could there be a stipulation in there that it would be strictly used for the way East Central has it, for the kids?
Yes, we could. I mean, and I haven't been part of the negotiations on this, but there are actually particular provisions when you're talking about two governmental entities that you can do it that way with a right of reverter, and we might be able to circumvent. And so if the like I said, I've been part of it, so if the school district wants to do it that way, we can do it that way. There are other ways to do it when you've got two governmental entities. But it sounds like they want to make sure that there's a fair price on that. But yeah, we can absolutely put a reverter in there. But if we're doing it this way, I would recommend for the city's perspective not to do that.
Not to do it.
Right. To keep, if we're gonna do this, if we're gonna do it this way, let's just buy it straight out.
Right, I'm saying that, but after we purchased it, after the property belonged to the city.
Right.
Could there be a clause in there, or verbiage in there, whatever, that says that it would be strictly used for,
You could probably set an ordinance to do that.
right, that's what I'm asking.
Right. I mean, you could absolutely do something like that resolution, but remember, future council could undo it. So there's not anything that is 100%.
I was just trying to keep it as a part of the community.
I would imagine, I would hope that, as we add to it and and so forth, that future councils would see the value of that park.
Okay.
Not one.
Second question I have is, East Central School District turns around, hires their third-party appraiser to come in there, do their appraisal. Raw land, correct? Not what we put on there?
I would think so.
I would think it would just be raw land.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. I don't want them to include our improvements or whatever, and then we turn around, we're gonna pay twice.
Exactly.
So, okay. That's all I have.
Mike?
Yes.
What about if you wanna have like a satellite fire station or emergency services or something that wouldn't take up a lot of space?
We're actually getting the fire department right here, right here.
Right here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right on.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
I'm just saying, you tie
yeah,
your hands.
that's a good
in-
idea, yeah. So, all right, anybody else have any questions? I think Manuel did.
Just more of a comment, I just want to congratulate the EDC for asking you to try.
I'll be honest, and what you know, because I told y'all, it's like, I'm not holding out much hope, but I'm trying. And son of a gun, man, so I was pretty surprised.
We actually went to a council meeting over there. I think Linda was